Hi, Heather here, and welcome to our next This Is Us chat. And today we're going to be speaking to Erica McCabe. Erica has been with the FWC from the very beginning, from the first training weekend 2 years ago now. And it's really been quite a journey that she's been on. Erica's a secondary school teacher specialising in special educational needs, and she's also an adult volunteer with the cadets, so a really busy time for her. And we're actually talking now at the end of a pretty full-on day, recording it at the end of a full-on day. So Erica, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us. And I just, first of all, just touch base. How are you doing? How are things at the moment?
It's tiring. It's a lot harder than being face to face. Being remote it's so many more challenges. You're not having that contact. You're not seeing how people really are. So it's a lot more effort to try and dig it out of them. So it's so easy just to say, yeah, I'm fine now. So you're not actually seeing the body language. You're not seeing how the kids are dealing with it. You're not seeing how parents are dealing with it very well. And then at the same time, when we're all exhausted from the same conversation all day, it's like, yeah, I am fine, but you're being pulled from pillar to post with it.
Yeah, you're doing the most amazing job, and I just can't imagine all the pressures that you're on and all the change that you're going through at the moment. So your connection then to the military, I sort of touched on it briefly at the beginning, but maybe tell our listeners a bit more about your military background and how you got involved with FWC.
So my partner, he's regular soldier. So we've got that. We do live apart, so must admit this has been much more difficult, of constant Zoom date nights and things like that. It's a lot harder. Yeah, like I said, I am a cadet force adult volunteer with the Army Cadet Force. Been doing that for the past 8 years now. So even during this, we are still running, if we're not face to face, but there's still a lot of work behind the scenes being done with it. And so I've always had that connection.
So I remember when I was planning the very first FWC weekend, your partner was helping me with the logistics, and he said, what is this FWC? And I explained it, and he was like, my girlfriend would love that. She loves the mountains, loves, walking, and kind of threw you into it, I think. And yeah, I really, what made you take the plunge 2 years ago to turn up on that first training weekend? It was quite intimidating, I think.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I can remember him emailing, messaging me. I think we were on the train down to him actually, and he was like, "You need to do this." So he sent me this, and I was like, "Okay." It's like I don't know anybody from who he works with, their partners or anything. I didn't know anybody at all, and he was like, "What? It suits you to a T. Suits you to." Okay, I'll have a look at it. And then I was still, so obviously it's quite a long train journey down to about an hour and a half. Have you done it? Have you applied? Have you sent it in? I was like, no, not yet. So I read a little bit more, and it took, luckily I were on the train and it was perfect time to think about it. And I was like, you know what? I do need to be reaching out that little bit more. I do need to meet people. And it was daunting, and the idea of walking into somewhere not knowing anybody was very daunting even for me, but that instantly went away. So I can remember being in the car park when we first met up at the gym and things, and I was just like, okay, my heart absolutely pounding, and just seeing everybody sort of either being in a similar sort of position to me, where you're sort of like, oh, that person looks like they're really on their own there, or how welcoming everybody was. It was Katie GJ who basically said, "Come on, you're coming with me," and you can't get away from Katie GJ.
Oh, I love Katie. Yeah.
I was just like, "This, you are you are an amazing person," and that has stuck now, and it's exactly what I needed, and everybody else was just the exact same, and I couldn't imagine life without them now.
And so you did all the, that was a really, really fun weekend. And then you did all of the training weekends leading up to the volcano. There were really quite some quite hairy moments, if I remember rightly, on top of
Yes.
that. But then I remember just before the Snowdon weekend, something happened. I think it was to do with work, and it sadly meant that you couldn't carry on with your mission, really, to be on the volcano team. It'd just be great to sort of chat through how you dealt with that disappointment and pick yourself up.
Yeah, so just before, I think it was like a week before Snowdon, I got injured at work. I actually got assaulted by one of the students, which to be fair is quite common in my workplace then. And I damaged my foot quite badly. And it was heartbreaking to know that there was no way I were going to be doing it. I did hold off for quite a while thinking, right, I can do this, but in all honesty, I couldn't. There was no chance of me physically being able to do it. And I think the thing that got me through it, and I were gutted and everything, and I knew that were it then, but the thing that kept me going with it all was the fact that I did still attend the Snowdon weekend, and I saw everybody, and it was a little bit like pulling a plaster off, because I knew it was going to hurt, the fact that seeing how much of an amazing time you all had, and I really wanted to be a part of that, but knowing it were a group of friends that I were facing, and actually taking that step and doing that and coming up to see you guys, it helped so much in my recovery with it emotionally as well, that I still had a lot of people I could rely on instead of being in my own with it, because I am on my own and I didn't have my other half and things to be there to support me through it, but having that team there really did help.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing the way that you sort of was, even though you couldn't be there on the mountains with us, you supported us all so amazingly. And actually later on there was the opportunity to join the Team Kilimanjaro, Team Kili, to climb Kilimanjaro later on the following year. So, you're quite infamous, Team Kili. Tell us more about, the team and how the whole expedition and all the training went.
So yeah, Team Kili, it's not just a team anymore. We are just a group of friends, just a group of girls that we happen to be on this amazing journey together now. So starting from probably January last year, when we first really formed, and it was the 6 of us. We did numerous events throughout the year. So I know we did Yorkshire Three Peaks, we did we walking around Yorkshire as well, and up in the Peak District, in the Lake District as well. So we are the group of 6 of us who from all over the UK. We've got Paula in Scotland, Nicola in Colchester, Katie in Cardiff, and me and Sorella. Fortunately, me and Sorella are in Yorkshire, which really does help, the fact that we're both on our own, but both so close together. And our weekends were, we need to train for Kili. It's going to be a big task, but because of the nature and how we do interact with each other, it didn't feel like that at all. So we did like X Runner, which was one of our first forming events, and that was just an amazing weekend where we had a laugh. It was physically challenging, it really was. And sorry, I've got a cat that really wants to jump.
Let's see the cat.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, gorgeous. I think all of Team Kili have got cats, haven't they? All cat mad.
So X Runner were amazing, and then we just had basic training weekends where we all would meet up at one of the girls' houses, and we'd do a lot of planning as well for Kili. So actually getting the admin side of things done, we needed to get his kit sorted, and we just made it into a really good friendship team as well. So it was mainly just friends. We've got this to do. We're going to do it, but we're going to do it as friends. There were no pressure, no nothing. And what we've got out of it now on the other side of Kili is what we started with as well. So there's not a day goes by that we're not talking on his WhatsApp group or some of the conversations we have can go on for hours and hours, and it is absolutely amazing. Kilimanjaro itself was the most amazing experience. However, when we think about Team Killer, it's not the mountain we're thinking of anymore. It's that team and that bond we've got is more prevalent than actually putting his foot on that mountain. Even though it was amazing, it was the whole experience of putting herself through that. We actually took the hardest route up Killy as well, which was it was quite interesting when you pass people when we got past the first stage. Oh, which route did you take? Oh yeah, you crazy. We're like, yeah, we did it. We're here.
Wasn't the weather terrible as well? You had some really shocking weather.
Yeah.
I remember
The first night, I can remember me and Katie just laid in the tent going, it's wet. It's wet. And then the next morning, everything was just drenched. Even when we got to the camp the next day, when we got his kit out, it was wet from where they'd carried it up. And we're like, we're just not going to sleep. So it was freezing and it was just so cold and wet and damp. Yeah.
No, I remember when we were following your progress back in the UK, and just so proud to just hear how you got on, and all the feedback afterwards from the people you were with. They said you were absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I think they called you the Super Six.
Super Six, yeah. So Mutual Finance, they were absolutely amazing with it, with us. So the South African guys with us, they took us in, and they were saying just our personalities shone through to the rest of the team out there. So the other 20 odd members of it were like, you guys have just made it, and it were our personalities, our British ways, I think they said, kept them laughing as well.
So it's Mental Health Awareness Week, and FWC, we're all about sort of positive power of physical activity and the outdoors. So I was just wondering, from your FWC experience, what would you say were your real highs, and what have you got out of it, both professionally and also personally?
Personally, the list is endless. It's that opportunity to be outside and pushing yourself, but also knowing there's other people around you in that exact same boat. So not just, oh, we want to climb this together, or we want to do this together. It's actually his backstories are not a million miles away from each other. But also when they are quite separate, we have got that common ground still. And there's no better place to do that when your adrenaline's rushing around your body and you're thinking, oh my gosh, we have got this challenge, but actually at the same time I'm overcoming this challenge, so I feel absolutely amazing. And I think especially the thing that always comes to me is when we did the Yorkshire Three Peaks, and I think right at the end, and like, it's that grit that you need, and that grit that you develop from being out in the mountains and outside, that you can't get just sat inside or just over a coffee or just a general chit chat. It's when you put in that environment, and it is that feeling of adventure and that feeling of achievement as well. When it is all done, the pain and sacrifice it feels that you go through, it's that feeling at the end is just amazing. From a professional point of view, it has kept me on track as well. So over the past 2 years whilst I've done this, I've been at university at the same time, doing masters and other qualifications as well, which it has helped me keep focused, where it's somewhere I've been able to pull myself away from being sat behind a computer and say, I need to go and do this, and it's been that outlet that I needed. Where I've got cadets as well, but again, that is for me quite a big job as well. So it's like sometimes like having two jobs, that the FWC is about me in a way, and my mental health, my ability to share my experiences with other people, and doing something for me that I'm not Miss, I'm not Mom, I'm not her, I'm not it, I'm Erica, and I can be Erica there, and it feels like it's the only place I can be Erica.
Oh, couldn't agree more. And so just finally, before I let you go after a long day, some of our listeners, they maybe have heard of FWC, and they might, be a bit nervous about maybe getting in touch or coming along to our events. What would you say to them to, encourage them to get involved?
Just do it. Just have that little bit of confidence that no matter what, no matter how detached you feel from having been in the outside, in the mountains, in a gym, things like that, just take that confidence that you can do it. And if you feel like you are struggling, you have got a team of people around you to pick you up when you need it the most. That branch is just on the other side of the phone, or physically when we are doing it, that it's only a hand away. There's no ridicule, there's no nothing. It's an even playing field.
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much, Erica, and hope all goes well, and really looking forward to catching up again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.